Is everything
The
ready?
icy beauty Liu Ruyang
I nodded.
stood at the
Everything
entrance,
is ready.
looking
The
at
marriage
me.
certificate
the household
and
director
our
was
ID
glasses.
cards. Eyes full
What
of
a
eyes
eyes
met.
met.
Such an elegant, stunning
Her
face.
168
Those long
centimeters
legs
figure
were
had
packed
looked
her
enough
longer
voice
than
my
my
life
life. I
out.
looked away.
Anyone
it was not
who
that
sees
I was
something
naturally
beautiful
yearn
for
Sadly,
it.
in
would
this
all
year of
end
marriage,
today.
we
My
had
wife,
spent more
Liu
time
Ruyang,
apart
at
than
the
together.
top
After
985
graduation,
I went
university
off
in
the
the province.
Get it.
There
We
were
were
no
going
point
to get
thinking
divorced.
about
So
it.
he took the
We
stairs
left
on the third
my
floor.
onto the stairs.
Liu Ruyang's
I
voice
turned back
and
and
suddenly
my body
step.
tumbled forward
Along
out of
with
control.
Liu Ruyang's
I rolled
cream.
down to the next
My
floor
head
with
was
a series
dazed
of
for
thoughts
quite
and
a
checking
while.
myself.
I had no
I picked
real
up the fallen
injuries.
documents
Then looked
from the
she was
floor.
walking
Liu
toward me with a
Ruyang.
nervous
But
face.
because she was in high heels, she was
that
not
I was
moving
Liu
fast.
Ruyang
straightened her
I'll
face.
take you to the hospital for
Shall
a
we
checkup.
go another
Left and
day?
right.
Let's
I
go.
should be fine.
It
If
is
we
rare
delay it,
that
both
both
of
of
us
us when
are
we go
police.
again.
Seemed
Hubby
to
is
come
still
from
determined
nowhere.
to go to the
Does
civil
hubby
tribunal
not want me
for
anymore?
divorce. I looked left and right.
At the stairwell, there was
But I
only
had
me
definitely
and
heard a
Liu
voice
Ruyang.
just
Sounded
now.
exactly
Only
like Liu
that
Ruyang's
cooked
voice.
completely the opposite of her current
Looks
icy
like I
demeanor.
must have damaged
I
my
shook
bone
my head.
downstairs.
Then I
I
continued
said,
walking
"What do I
down.
do?
Hubby is
What do I
injured
do?"
and still wants a divorce.
This time,
I
turned
was
back
sure
to
I
look
heard
at
it.
her cheeks
Liu
were
Ruyang. And I
slightly
had no
red.
idea what
whether
she
I
was
was
thinking.
hallucinating.
I asked tentatively.
After the divorce,
Liu
you won't
Ruyang
quit your
slightly
job,
frowned.
right?
You're overthinking it.
Everyone will definitely
How
think
could I
there's
stay at the
something
school
wrong with
after
my body.
this? I don't want to
Why
divorce
does this
hubby.
mouth of mine
What should I do?
say
I
hurtful
heard now
things?
that's
Liu
right.
Ruyang's
In those satisfying
inner
web
thoughts.
novels.
If I had
This
gained
is
that
over this
visibility
month earlier.
earlier,
Missed each other.
I had
because
said
of
divorce
all
kinds
kinds
of
of
misunderstandings.
verify whether I could
Without
hear.
hesitation,
I walked to the security
and said to
booth
old
at the
Zhao,
gate.
"Can
The
you
guard,
lend me 10
Oh,
thousand
Zhao,
yuan?
get
You
lost.
brat."
You live in a luxury
I did
flat.
not hear
It
old
still
Zhao's
asks me to
only
mind
words
reading
on my
ability.
wife. Short of
Liu
money.
Ruyang followed from
She
behind,
heard
but
it.
it did
All
not
I
matter,
nodded.
and kept walking
Yes,
forward.
after the
I won't be able
divorce,
to live in this big
I'll have
house
to move
anymore.
out.
Ruyang froze for a moment
With
and
a
said
cold
nothing.
face,
She kept walking.
I'll be scared
Hubby,
sleeping
a
alone at night.
fair-skinned, beautiful,
will be gone
long-legged
forever
girl
if you
like
miss your
me.
chance.
On the surface, then
We
we
got
drove
in the car
toward the
in
civil
silence.
affairs
We're almost
bureau.
there.
I don't want to
Hubby
divorce.
hearing
Liu
me.
Ruyang's
I turned my
thoughts.
head
She
to look.
expressionlessly turned toward
Leaving
the car
only
window.
her side
Found the
profile
topic.
to
The divorce. It
The
shouldn't
Liu Ruyang
affect you
gave a
much,
light
right?
snort.
What effect
Don't
could it
flatter
have?
yourself.
How
If
could
we
it have no
divorce, I
effect?
need to hurry and
With
think
some
of
dignity.
one.
Building would
Hanging
look
I
too
heard your
awful.
tongue
Sticks out.
Turning on the
Right.
gas is said to leave your
Hearing
complexion
that thought
rosy.
from
I
Liu
was so
Ruyang.
scared. I accidentally
crazy?
slammed the
Drive,
brakes.
A hot-tempered guy overtook
Cursed
from the
and
side.
sped away with one
I
step
released
on the
the
gas
brake and
that
continued
person
driving.
is so
Clearly
annoying.
failed to keep a
How
safe
can he
distance.
blame
I've
others?
memorized his
I'll
license
report
plate.
him later.
Insulting others plus dangerous
Up
driving
ahead
was
was
an
turn
intersection
left, then
with
go
traffic
straight.
lights.
About 1
About
kilometer.
20
I
meters
saw the
from the
city
civil
only
affairs
5
bureau
seconds
was
left.
down. Better wait
But
for
this
the next
damn
traffic light
I was
stayed red
speechless.
for
I would have stepped on the gas
120 seconds
and
and
immediately
did not
rode
know
off
the
and
light
out.
timing well. Liu Ruyang
I looked
coughed
over with
lightly
a what's
frowned.
wrong?
Liu
You have a
Ruyang
cold?
paused for
Then
2
nodded a
seconds.
little.
Then should we go another day?
Looking at Liu Ruyang's delicate
There was
face,
not the
I
slightest
wondered
expression
whether
on it.
her words were
Great,
sincere
Liu
or the
Ruyang.
opposite.
You finally
That's
said it.
it.
We definitely cannot
Hubby,
go to the
let's
civil
go home.
affairs
I
bureau
heard
today.
men all like
Is it because I
stockings.
usually wear
That
long
hubby
pants?
doesn't like
Then I'll
me?
go back and change
Should
into
I wear
stockings
black?
later.
White
Black stockings
or white
are the
shoes?
nude
Seductive
ones
are
are
very
better.
shy
Liu
looking
Ruyang's
thoughts.
actually
Aside
did
from
not
being
want
a little
divorce
sharp-tongued
having a bit of
and not
romance,
knowing
how to do housework.
I nodded.
Fine.
Liu
I'll check
Ruyang
them out.
seemed to
There is
have
a
no
pharmacy
other flow.
next
There
to
and
the
by
civil
turn
affairs
back
bureau
and
that
stopped
road.
in Rostad parking
I bought
space
cold
in front
medicine
of
bureau.
Van
clearing
I got back
detox
in the
granules.
car
She
and handed
silently
them to Liu
accepted
Ruyang.
them.
Closed
The
the
car
car
placed
door.
them on
Hubby
her
still
lap.
cares
I
about
definitely
me.
cannot
I've
divorce
decided.
hubby. When we get back,
With nude
I'll wear that
stockings.
strappy
I'll
short
wash
dress
rice
at
and
least
put
I
it
know
in
her
the
rice
rice
cooker.
cooker.
I thought for a moment.
When we
got back, it would
There
indeed
were
be
not
close
many
to
ingredients
lunchtime.
left
To the
in the
market
fridge.
and
I
buy
suggested
some
food.
food. Nodded. Then turned back to look out the
I
window.
saw the corner of her mouth
revealing a
lift
slightly,
slightly.
almost unnoticeable
Hubby was thinking the
smile.
same thing as
He
me.
will
Then
stir
while he
fry
is
while I
cooking,
cook the
hug him
rice.
from behind.
Then I'll search it
Then
up.
after hearing What
my
should I
wife's
do
thoughts.
next?
Covered the screen with one hand
and
so I
began
could not
searching
see
for
it. I started the
something.
car and slowly
There was a
drove
large
toward
supermarket
home. It
at the
had
entrance of our
everything.
community.
It says here, wear a super short apron with
Preferably
stockings.
then pretend
Little
something
high
dropped
heels.
on
Bring
the
your
floor.
legs together
The
and
temptation
walk
is
down
something
on
no
the
male
showing.
creature
Also,
can resist.
casually
Showing.
brushing back the hair beside your ear.
Like
This
and
one
when
is
eating,
powerful.
pretend to accidentally drop chopsticks
And ask
or
how
when a
to
man
pick
is
it up
on
under
the
the
floor.
table.
He will instinctively look
If I were
over.
walking car.
Just
would
imagining
probably
that
make me
scene
embarrass myself.
really did what
I
the
was
internet
afraid I would not
suggested.
be able to
Liu
control
Ruyan
myself.
kept calling hubby in
Along
her
this
heart,
way,
was completely different
the
from
beauty
if
professor
others knew
that
everyone
I
knew
and
at
such had a whole
university.
intimate professor.
They
They would probably
times.
think something
But
was wrong with
facing
me.
that expressionless face,
Even if I got in the mood, every
it
time I
felt
had
like
thoughts like
acting
that,
with a
I
doll.
would
Then
ask
she
her.
would lie on the bed without
Making it
saying
impossible
yes
for
or
me to
no.
proceed.
Me of
Or
marital
not if I
suicide.
end up in prison
Later,
sewing uniforms,
because
I
I
was
often
afraid of
worked
disturbing
overtime,
her.
over
Over
time
time,
I ended up sleeping
Besides,
separately.
her period
Several
lasted
times
8
when
or
I was in
9
the mood,
days. When Liu
she happened
Ruyan
not
got
to be
back,
home yet.
if
She
it
went
were
straight
any
to
other
her
room
room
without
without a
a
word,
word,
wanted
with
to
me.
separate
But hearing
from
her
me
thoughts
sooner.
now,
I felt unbelievably relieved.
watch me
put on a short
and
skirt
chum hubby
and
to
to
death.
I will naturally walk
and
into
hook
hubby's
his
line
line
of
of
sight. Why does hubby like
Watching
ice
Liu
cold
Ruyan
beauty towards the
quietly.
bedroom?
When did I ever say I
Wait,
liked ice cold
who
beauty?
started that rumor? They should be legally
With a little
responsible.
anticipation
And
prepared
I walked
to
into
his
the
lunch.
kitchen.
Not easy
Should I
to
find
take a
something
day
to
off.
do this
Ding-a-ling.
afternoon? My
I
phone
saw it
rang.
was a call from my
So
superior
I
at
quickly
work.
answered.
Manager
Xiao Yi
hello.
said you took leave
How is it
because
going?
the manager
Came up
slightly
at home. He would
concerned
not
voice
call
came
without a
through.
reason.
Must be
But
something.
since I was at home
There
right
did
now,
not seem
I
to be
quickly
anything
replied
special
politely.
going on.
Manager,
It's
well,
mostly
it's like
handled
that
something.
project you were leading
The World
earlier.
Trade Center network
There are a few
information
areas
the client
wants
construction
to
project.
coordinate
Can you make some
with me.
detail?
Go
After
there
the
this
manager
afternoon.
explained
There was
everything,
no
but it was
escaping
within
this.
my
And
responsibilities
doing it
anyway.
well
So
would bring a
I
bonus.
immediately
I made
tomato beef brisket
and
stir
stir-fry
stew.
lettuce
I walked
for my
to the
wife
bathroom
after
hesitating
Liu
for a
Ruyan.
moment. I still
Honey,
did not
something
push the
came
door
out. I need
open.
to go over
I made
there.
lunch for you. My wife answered
Through
in
the
an
slightly
indifferent
open
tone.
door.
My wife had really changed
She had
into the
mentioned
short
Eric
skirt and
earlier.
stuff.
I did
I
not
had to
leave
leave
quickly.
quickly.
Then
I feared I would make a
mind.
mistake.
Liu
Sob,
Ruyan
I
started
just prepared my
whimpering
sexy
again.
and I wanted to have a
and
candlelight
stockings.
dinner
I
with
even
hubby.
prepared the candles.
No, I have to be a good
Hubby
wife
has
and
to
mother.
work.
If
So I'm not
hubby goes
supposed
out
to
to have
hubby
fun,
ignores
I
me,
cannot
then I
question
still
him.
have to coax hubby
It was
for me.
because I did not
And
know how
failed
to
to
read the
fulfill
room before.
the
Hubby
duties
wanted
of
to
a
divorce
bonus
my
after
wife.
hearing these
My
thoughts.
mood at the doorway rose
So my
and
wife
fell like
liked
a
my
roller
dishwasher
coaster
and
and
acted
acted
like she did
was
not
there
want
some
to
kind of
respond to
misunderstanding.
anything
I
I
wondered
asked.
if maybe we should not get
After
divorced.
all,
For a straight-laced IT
being
guy
able
like
to
me,
marry
a beautiful
not just
university
even
professor
small
from my
blessing.
ancestors'
And as
graves
everyone
will have
knows,
to rise
time
3
of the
meters
IT
high.
industry
is
is
short.
you
cannot
40.
rise
You will
into
most
management.
likely
If I
be
divorced, then the
optimized
next
out.
person I found
Or someone
would
who
either
cannot
be
get
divorced
married
already.
no way.
I
had
the
the
I hurried to
job.
the company to
Then
organize
went to
the
the client
materials
side to
and
discuss
understand
all
their
kinds of
requirements. I
details.
truly
So I had
could
a
not
simple
refuse.
meal with
And
them.
drank
When
half
I
a
got
gin
home,
of baijiu. Even I could not
I
stand the
hurried to
smell
take
of
a change
alcohol on
clothes
myself.
and lay on the guest
Recalling
room
what had
bed.
happened
It
that
felt
morning.
like a dream.
Was everything during the day
A
really
daydream?
just a dream? Why had my wife not
Then
come
I'll go
looking for
find
me
you
after
after I
all?
got back.
This matter
Still
of divorce
needed
if
to
to
be
not
settled.
clear
It
this
felt like
problem
leaving
up.
a
My
bug
whole body
unresolved.
felt uncomfortable.
About
I
what
still
happened
had
during
a
the
little
day.
expectation in my
Ready to
heart.
go
Knock,
find my
knock,
wife.
knock.
I said
There was a
directly,
knock
the
at the
door
door.
isn't locked.
With
The
click.
guest room
Liu
door was
Ruyan
pushed
first
open.
poked her
Her
head
black,
in. Was
beautiful
now
hair.
tied up in a
Her
bun.
flaming red lips
So
were
she had
especially
under her
striking.
long
Her
eyelashes,
eyes
bright
seemed
as
as
clear
if they
contained
speak,
a trace of
truly
grievance.
making her
As
look
for
pitiful
what she
and
was
lovely.
different from the
She had mentioned
sleeveless
in her
short
photos
top
during
she
the
wore
day.
on the bottom,
her
pink
sweater,
sweater legs
short
were
skirt,
wrapped
from
in
my
nude
professional
stockings.
analysis,
Balenciaga stockings. She was not wearing high
just
heels.
cotton slippers.
It lacked the visual impact
had a
of high
charm
heels
of
its
its
own.
own.
For
I
a few
quickly
seconds.
looked
If I looked
away.
any longer, I might make a
Scratched the
mistake.
back of my head
And
Liu
looked
Ruyan
at
pinched
what's
the
wrong?
sides of her
As if
skirt
a little
with
embarrassed.
both hands.
I'm a little
I
cold.
think I caught a cold.
Can I
Her
warm
words
up under your
stung
blanket?
me.
Before I could figure out
I
how to
saw
answer,
Liu
Ruyan looking
Hubby,
at me
hurry and
pitifully.
say yes.
I will cry
Then
for you
I
to
will ask
see
the
and
neighbors
say
to judge.
hubby would not let me into his
The
blanket.
little devil in my head
what
kept
happened
urging me.
afterward would not be
After
up to
all,
her.
if
If
a
a
girl
girl once
willingly
said, then
enters the
afterwards
boys'
she
room
cannot
assault,
accuse him.
I struggled
with
fiercely
concern.
with
Should I take you
myself.
to the
Feel
nearby
unwell. Hearing
hospital?
this,
Liu Ruyan's face
started
visibly
turning red.
was she running
I
a fever.
unconsciously
Reached out
It
to
did
touch
seem a
her
little
forehead.
warm.
I was almost unable to
quickly
control
stood
myself.
back
A little
too.
hot. After saying
I'll
that,
go get the thermometer.
I stepped
into
into
the
the
living
preparations
room
during
with
my
both
masculine
slippers.
period. For some
and
reason,
an infrared
I
one
picked
at
up
home.
the
Walked back
thermometer
to the
I
guest
suddenly
room.
discovered
Already
she
gotten
even
into the
shyly
blanket
used
by
my
herself
pillow
to
to
cover
cover
her
her
face.
face
Big eyes.
toward me as I
Hubby's
entered.
blanket is
And
so
it
warm.
smells so
It smells
good.
wonderful. I
I
want to
shook
lie
the
with
thermometer
hubby
and
every
looked
day.
at
Come on,
Li
let's
Ruyan.
take your
Li
temperature
Ruyan
after
nodded.
pulling down the quilt.
What was
She
this
take the
supposed to
thermometer
mean?
yourself
The
and
two
put
of
it
us
under
stared
your
at each
armpit
other
for
for
several
several
seconds.
seconds.
What's
Can't
going
figure it
on?
out. Why doesn't hubby put the thermometer
Is it because
under
I'm
my
wearing
arm?
too much?
Then I'll
And
take
as
off
Li
my
Ruyan
sweater.
thought
She sat
this,
up.
and took
Only
off
a
her
thin
sweater.
short-sleeved
That
nightgown
sudden
remained
underneath
a
I
little
wouldn't get a no
itchy.
seeing
In
in
a
a
moment,
moment
sitting
sitting there
there she
without
wanted me
moving.
to
Why
take her
still is
temperature
already
for her.
taking
Do I have
over?
to
My
take
sweater would be
everything
too
off?
embarrassing.
No. If this kept
Liu
going,
Ruyan might really do something
I
shocking.
knelt
On the bed.
raise your
Come
arm a
on. I
little.
placed the thermometer under Liu
Then I
Ruyan's
also got
armpit.
under
At that
the quilt.
moment, Liu
Kept
Ruyan's
coming
inner
like a
voice.
talking
I had no
pen.
idea what she
All
was thinking
kinds
about.
of strange
Strange
ideas.
ideas.
It made it
me,
hard for me to
flashed
hear
by.
clearly.
Can you
Liu
rub my
Ruyan
belly?
suddenly said
This
in a
kind
was the
captious
first
voice.
time
I
I
had not
truly
know
heard
if
from
she
her.
had thought too
Then
much
accidentally
and too
said
complicatedly.
what was in her
Scariest
head
thing
out
is when
loud.
we both stared
Suddenly
at
goes
each other
silent.
like that.
To
Only
freeze
Liu
halfway.
Ruyan
Turned
stared
red
at a speed
oh no,
visible
how
to
did
the
I
naked
say that
eye.
out loud while doing
Forget
it?
it.
What do
I already
do?
said
Hubby.
it. At a time like
I
this,
cannot
as you see
refuse
my
my
wife's
wife's request
request
together.
slowly began rubbing.
It was
No
indeed a
wonder
little
people say
cold.
girls
Liu
have
Ruyan's
cold
face
constitution.
became
Redder
redder
and
a few
redder.
minutes later.
I took out the thermometer
degrees
and does not
Celsius.
have a
For hot
fever.
water,
Liu
and you
remained
should be
silent.
fine. Thoughts betrayed her.
I drink hot
Am I
water
right
every
buffalo?
day.
A little
Hubby's
confused.
I
Then I'll
said
go pour you
awkwardly.
some
No
hot
way.
water.
Liu Ruyan
I
has
can't
come
give
this
up hard.
halfway. If I don't do
Hubby
it,
will divorce me.
just as I
got
Liu
up.
Ruyan reached out and
Before I
grabbed
could
me
sit
steadily. I
between
fell
our
straight
faces.
down.
So
Was
warm.
all my
Less than
life.
5
I had been
centimeters.
walking
Make
out
it to the
other
other
side.
All my
nonsense
life,
on my thinking.
I
I
am
am
taught
taught
and
and
educated
educated
people
people
to
as much
live
about
virtue.
this.
She
She
asked
asked me
me
directly.
Short-circuited my brain.
I hesitated whether to take the
Liu
initiative.
Ruyan quickly
Sat up,
pulled back
and pulled the quilt
over.
up to cover
Posture.
her
She
chest.
could not
If it
really
were
be
someone
going
else,
to
fine,
accuse
my
me,
wife,
right?
and the key point
Cold
was that
beauty
she
professor.
taught
If she
criminal
said I
law.
committed
Forget
marital
the
assault.
judge. I would believe it. This is what
Beauty
you call
is
a
justice.
reasonable
Thought of
argument.
my
prison number,
Liu
9,587.
pitifully.
I accidentally
Sorry.
kissed
Liu
you.
Ruyan.
Shake her head
While
like
her
a
body
rattle
kept
drum.
retreating.
She was about to fall
I
off the
hurriedly
bed. Crawled over, ready to grab her
Unexpectedly,
shoulder. Her silk nightgown
In a
was
panic,
too
I reached
slippery,
out
and wrapped
and I
an
could
arm
not
around
hold
Liu
on
Ruyan,
instantly.
staring at me in surprise.
Her whole body
Then she shrank
stiffening.
back a
I
little.
thought she was
so
angry.
I quickly helped
It had
her
been
sit
like
back
this
in
in
the
the
past
past
too.
too.
Touched her
Her
back
whole
or
body
waist.
would
Then she would
stiffen.
look at me with a
I
surprised
thought she
face.
felt I was being too
so
abrupt.
I would quickly
After
withdraw my
several
hand.
times,
I knew
Sorry,
she did not
I
like
didn't
me.
mean to touch
I
your body.
quickly
You did not want
apologized.
to
end up sewing uniforms
Liu
in
Ruyan
prison at
pursed
such
her
a young
lips.
age.
Not
I
like
don't
that.
dislike it. I just react like this by
My back is
reflex.
even
Very
when my best
sensitive.
friend touches
and
me,
I get
I
so shy.
stiffen.
I
I'm
don't
afraid
dare
if I
speak. My true
Liu
nature will be
Ruyan
exposed.
did not. She only
at
shook
that
her
moment.
head. This had been
I would have
before.
thought she did not want
With
to
a rustling
explain
sound,
because
she
she
disliked
burrowed
it.
into
Seeing
the
that,
quilt
I could
and
not
run off
pretend
to
to
be
be immobile
sofa
and
or
kept
anything
more than 10
quilt
centimeters
over
away
myself.
from
What
Liu
came
Ruyan.
next would be dry wood
meeting
but
fire.
not long
Blazing
after. I heard
flames.
Liu Ruyan's faint, even
I
breathing.
turned my head and saw
Wasn't
Liu
she
Ruyan
very
had
excited
actually
just now?
fallen
How did she
asleep.
fall asleep?
There was nothing
After
I could
only
do.
a few minutes.
I was
wake
not the
her
kind
up.
of
Most
person
importantly,
selfish
got
desires
angry, woke up
and
and
sent
sent
me
me
to
to
prison.
prison. I endured
I
a
would be done
difficult
when I woke
winter
up and
cold
reached
month.
out.
The space beside me
Liu
was
Yan had
already
gone to
empty.
work.
Classes at the
It took
university
half an
started
hour
at
to
She
get
had a
there.
habit of
So she
arriving
probably
early.
left
As for
around
me,
7.
I
Since
started
the
to
company
work
was
at
nearby,
nearby in the
by
morning.
breakfast
On the way, arrived at
During
the
lunch
company
break,
right
in
at the
the
company
nine.
cafeteria with a
The
few
WeChat
close
video
buddies.
call
Put down
ringtone
and
sounded.
took out my phone.
It
in
was
my hand.
actually my
This
icy
was
wife,
truly the
Liu
first
Ruyan
time
ever.
and rain god
Looking at the
instantly
note on my
gathered
phone
around
screen.
out in unison.
Oh
Cold
no,
campus bell
I had
wife
accidentally
really had
shown
been the
off.
campus
Xiaopeng
bell.
hurriedly
So
tried
it
to
was
be
not
so
a
long.
WeChat video call.
When I
had
saw my
already
wife,
connected
elegant
and
and
intellectual,
fresh,
beautiful
I suddenly
face.
did not know
I
how to
quickly
start
moved
speaking.
aside.
Xiaopeng.
However,
Although he
was
was
familiar
stunned for
with
1
the word
second
gossip,
by my wife's
put
looks.
both hands on the chair and
Hello,
shouted.
sister-in-law.
Smile appeared on my wife's
Is my
face.
husband
Pushed
there?
Hello,
Forward by
everyone.
my
I scratched the
two
back of my
buddies.
head and smiled
Honey,
awkwardly.
wrong? What's
my wife
looking
casually
She had no makeup
office
on,
at the
yet her pretty
university.
face was still impossible
Next
to
time,
ignore.
could we
I
maybe
quickly
do it
shook
in
my
throwing
head.
away those inappropriate
Night
there's a
images.
high school reunion. My wife's
Come with
words
me. It's
made
your high
me
school
freeze.
reunion.
I
can
don't
go
know
by
anyone
yourself.
there. My wife furrowed
Seeing
her
my
brows,
two
slicing
close
the flesh around my waist
She
hard.
asked,
"Are you
Hubby,
uncomfortable?
my strange
What's wrong?"
expression.
I quickly waved my hand.
Just go
No,
attend
No. Don't drink
main thing
and come
is
home
there are many
early.
men,
I want you to
and
come
I'm
with
not
me.
used to it.
Brother Fan,
No
that's
problem.
directly
Directly
mode
mode
his
his
today
watermelon
and
size
agreed on
face
my behalf.
over.
I nodded,
It did not
which
matter.
A
Counted
rare happy
as
smile
agreeing.
appeared on my
Through the
wife's
screen,
face. I could not sense my
judging
wife
from
from
her
her
look,
look. Her
after
happiness
dealing
should
with
be
my
real.
two buddies
Wearing a
wearing
plaid shirt and jeans
with a random
I
jacket
took a
over them.
taxi to the
The
location my wife
Intercontinental
sent.
Hotel was the only
These
7-star
high-school
hotel
classmates
in
of
the
my
city,
wife
but
were
that
apparently
made sense.
quite
In my
extraordinary.
memory,
According to my wife,
90%
of them had
after
gone
graduation,
to C9
they're
elite
leaving
university.
university.
I was
It
always
was
not my
after
room.
telling
I
my
was
wife
led
to
to
the
the
hostess.
360-degree panoramic
grief.
restaurant
This was
on the
not a
top
place
floor.
people
When I
could
entered,
afford.
there were already
girls
7 or
were
8
startled
people
when they
inside.
saw me.
A short-haired girl.
You
I quickly
are-
said, "Hello." Hello, my name is
She asked me to
I am
come
Liu
with her,
Ruyan's
wearing
husband.
glasses,
Stood
He
up
took my
beside
hand.
her.
So you
Oh,
are our
hearing
campus
about you is
best
nothing
talent.
compared
My
to
this
me.
hotel happens to be my
Xiao Yiming.
family's
I
business.
shook his hand.
Nice to meet you.
Then I found a corner and sat
I
down
really
by
was
myself.
not used to gatherings
So
with strangers,
I
but
invisible.
I kept
Several
feeling.
people looking
I
at
received
me
my wife's
intentionally
WeChat
or
message saying
unintentionally.
she would arrive
My
soon.
wife
Of the
wore
door
a
opening
blouse
came
with a
in
work
preppy style
uniform
coat
made
trimmed
of
with
stockingers,
skirts paired with
made it
black
a
high
full
heels.
office lady
The
uniform
moment she
temptation.
entered,
She
Xiao
drew
Yiming,
everyone's
who had been
attention.
chatting happily,
This
immediately
is
stood
truly
up.
a once in a
Campus
thousand
value.
years
Finally,
moment.
how
Honors
rare.
us
My wife
by
took off her
coming
clothes.
Xiao Yiming reached out,
Standing
ready
in the corner,
to take it.
I did
My
not know
wife
whether to
walked
step
past.
forward
She
or
handed
not.
Xiao
To
Yiming
me,
and
after
put it
saying
with
that,
jacket.
look,
She
your
straightened
color
my
is a
collar.
sudden
Fixed
transformation
properly.
of my icy
Left
wife
me
into a
completely
caring good
out
one.
of
Out of
the
the corner of
daze.
my eye, I
Awkwardly
saw
pulled
Xiao
back
Yiming.
his hand,
It turned out
and
my wife was the
everyone
last to
took
arrive.
seats
and
Only
sat
the
down.
main seat and one seat
Along
beside
with
it
the host
remained.
serving
Of course,
seat
I
opposite
could not
the main
consciously
seat.
sat in the host
Xiao
seat
Yiming
near the
naturally
door.
sat
He
in the main
patted the
seat
seat
Ruyan,
beside
sit
him.
here. Those words
everyone
sounded
else seemed to think it
extremely
was
harsh
normal.
to
I
me.
were the
Of course,
outsider.
I
Compare
was
with my
indeed
wife's
an
high school
outsider.
classmates
My wife,
here.
Liu
Why is
Ruyan,
this Xiao Yiming
furrowed
so
her brows.
annoying
I
with
have
hubby?
already rejected
Yet
him.
he
Hearing
so
my
many
wife's
times
thoughts,
before.
mood calmed down
I saw
a
my
little.
wife walk straight
One side
toward
of his
Xiao
brow
Yiming
and
the
the
corner of his
victory
mouth.
then my wife
in
picked
his
up
hand
that
and moved
chair.
it with
Only
some
when she was
effort
about
to
to
my
move
move
it, I
beside
quickly
me.
stood up to
Xiao
help move
Yiming's
the chair.
eyes widened.
His
His
expression
expression
looked
looked
truly
truly
ugly.
ugly.
At the table became
After
lively
everyone
again.
drank the
Before
first glass
Ellen had
together,
time to pick on my
rather
chopsticks,
Yada
and
where
said,
do you work?
Xiao Yiming
He's
is
so
clearly trying to make
annoying. I will
things
never
difficult
come
for
again
hubby,
when he
but
hosts
hubby
next
will have to
time.
work
I
hard
had
this
been a
time.
little
But after
upset.
hearing my
I
wife's
realized
thoughts, this
clearly
guy named
sour
Zhao, I
grapes
smiled and
because
replied,
he could
I'm
not
just
even
an
ordinary
ordinary programmer
impressive.
assistant.
Oh,
That
I
is
heard the
amazing.
salary
You
is
must
pretty
pay
high,
30
right?
or
A
40,000
man
a
beside
month,
Xiao Yiming
right?
with a
Take
very
up a
high
conversation,
hairline, and
Xiao
what that
Yiming
be
sighed,
called in
right?
ancient
A
times?
lackey.
I
could not
answered
be bothered with
perfunctorily.
him. My
It
wife
is enough
sat
to support
silently
them.
and
Reached
reached
over
me.
and held my
This
hand.
Zhao Xun is no good
He
either.
follows Xiao
So this
Yiming
man with the
around all
receding
day.
hairline
Zhao
was called
Xun
Zhao
raised
Xun.
his
Let me
glass.
toast
I
you,
heard
brother
that
Fan.
in your
Many people
industry,
get fired at
if it
35.
becomes hard to
Our
find
manager
work later,
can fill
your
Xiao Yiming
position in the hotel's
After
IT
saying that,
department.
he
Right,
turned to
Brother
Xiao
Yiming
Yiming.
nodded. We
I
are
will
friends.
definitely
After that,
arrange
I
it
did
for
not
you.
my
One
wife.
single
Else
bite
kept
made
toasting
me
me
feel like
some
truly
big
wine may not
leader.
intoxicate.
Fortunately,
But
my
people at
wife
the table
came
from
me the
beside
names
me,
and
along with
backgrounds of
all
those
kinds of old
classmates.
stories.
I was
Seeing
seeing
my
my
wife's brows
everything.
furrowed
I
tighter and
suspected
tighter.
at
That
that
moment,
moment
explode
the waiter
at us.
served
It
the
was
plate
I
of
had never
king crab.
eaten king crab
So
of
I was
this
about
color
to pick
before.
just to try.
My wife
And
pressed
pulled me
down
up
on
on
my
my
hand.
hand.
Said to everyone,
We'll
my
eat
husband
first.
and I have something
Then
to
she
do.
grabbed
My other
clothes and
hand
put them in
the
my
whole
hand.
process
The door
was
open to
clean
leave,
and
and I was
decisive. I still
completely
had not
confused.
tried
I did
the
not
blue
know what
king crab.
expressions the people
But they
behind us
probably
had.
did not look
In
good.
the elevator, my wife's face
It made
was
me
frosty.
afraid to ask why she had done
But
that.
the elevator had
And the
88
wait
floors.
I still could not help
Is
asking,
it okay for us
honey,
to leave
my
so
wife
directly?
snorted
They
coldly.
dared to
I
make
will
things
never
difficult
count
for
on the
you.
king crab
I
just
realized
now.
I had not
My
eaten
wife
anything
had
I
not
looked
eaten
at her.
either.
My
Why don't we
wife
go out
nodded
for
and
dinner?
said
Still
nothing
happiest
else.
to eat
Unconsciously,
to the
I
night
brought
market.
my wife.
This was where I often
It might
came
look
after
dirty in
overtime.
reality. It tasted
And it was cheap
much
too.
better
Only
than those
after
hotels.
I sat by a
Did I
roadside
realize
stall.
my
My
wife,
wife,
wearing a coat,
looked like a
mid-length
lotus
skirt with her
emerging
tall
from
water
graceful figure
in this
over
night market.
1.7
She was
meters
dazzling
and
I picked
completely
up
out of
napkins
place
from
from
the
the
table,
table.
a little
embarrassed. I said,
This place may not look like
but
much.
Sichuan food here
It
is very
tastes
authentic,
incredibly
incredibly
good,
lifted the
and
hem
sat
of her
across
coat
from me.
when the
Looking
owner
around
brought out
plates of
curiously,
Sichuan dishes,
my
full
drool
of
almost
color,
fell onto
aroma,
the table
and
and
flavor,
chili
and
chili
oil
with
pickled
spicy
habit.
chicken.
I looked up and
I
saw my
devoured
wife
them
holding
not
with
knowing
rice.
where to start.
I had
Or
not
was it
considered
that
my
she did
wife's
not like
taste.
roadside
I asked
food
carefully.
stalls?
Can you
These
get used
my
to
wife
them?
nodded.
Yes,
Then she slowly
no problem.
picked up
The
food
dishes
and
are
began
delicious.
calories
How
too
much
high.
yoga
would I have to do to burn
My
this off?
belly is going
I've
to get
decided.
chubby.
Tomorrow I
So
will only
that
eat
was
2
what my
meals.
wife
I cleared
was
my
worried
throat.
about.
Honey, if
You're
you're
too
thin,
thin.
it
I
is
was
not
too
easy
talking
to have a
and only
baby
after
with my
saying it,
colleagues.
did I
looked
realize
up
this could
and
cause
saw
a
my wife's
misunderstanding.
understanding turn red at once.
With the
During the
dishes.
meal, I did not
Just
say anything
listening
else.
to my wife's inner
When we
voice
got
was
home,
exciting
my wife hung
enough.
up her coat.
I nodded
I'm
after
going
my
to
shower.
take a
Change into
shower.
that silk lace ultra
Then
short
naturally
nightdress of
walk in
mine.
front of hubby and have
My
a baby.
wife's thought
Struck me like lightning.
When I looked
burning
over,
me
my
inside
wife's
and
face
out.
was
I
clearly
washed up
expressionless.
in the bathroom outside.
5 minutes later, I had washed
lay
my
on the
hair,
bed, scrolling
showered,
my phone,
and
restless.
brushed
There
my
might
teeth.
be
Half
a
an hour
historic
passed.
breakthrough.
The
1
night
hour
was
quiet.
I guess
like
my
falling
wife had
snow
gone
in
straight
winter.
to
I
sleep
turned off
after
the
her
lights
shower
and
and
hid
lonely
under
in
the
a daze.
A soft, cool little loach slipped
was
under the
thrilled.
turned on the bedside lamp.
Both of us
and
froze,
our eyes met.
speechless
Liu
for a
Ruyan,
moment.
the team
But the
star,
bold
charged
feast
forward bravely. After hearing
Before
my
I could
wife's
react,
drawn in by a burst of
then our
fragrance,
faces pressed together.
I could see Liu Ruyan shyly closing her eyes
under the dim light.
The Venus-like work of art,
The misunderstanding
so this must
ignited
what kind of
the
temperature
temperature
in
in
the
the room
room
really
really
was.
heroic
and
contributed my part to the future population. The end.